What actor is the most guilty of playing the same exact character in every film? Seth Rogen. He plays Seth Rogen on every possible movie. In that one Steve Jobs biopic he was a bit less Seth Rogen though. And it was the best acting he ever did. Even as a sausage he was Seth Rogen. Starring Dwayne Johnson as a buff dude spy who can fly helicopters and perform CPR who is sometimes funny. Did you even see the other guys? He definitely cannot fly. Aim for the bushes. Amusingly, the best show of his range as an actor is probably the recent Jumanji remakes, where he actually was pretty great in though. For the action scenes he just played The Rock, but in a lot of the quieter scenes I totally bought that he was just an awkward teenager in The Rock's body. TBH, I kind of went into Jumanji expecting it to be pretty trash. Was pleasantly surprised. Kevin Hart making and receiving jokes about his own diminutive stature is a given. I think the fact that I can't remember a single one of his characters' names speaks for itself. Edit. Apparently. I really need to check out the upside. Hey, he played a different type of character in Jumanji too. A lot of comedians that become actors seem to just play themselves. They've probably spent their whole career perfecting a particular persona and people just write them into movies. Bill Burr worked really well in The Mandalorian because we've never seen a Bostonian in Star Wars. Michelle Rodriguez. Always played the tough military chick. She's self-aware about that, says it's her own fault. Every casting call she would turn down damsel in distress. She would turn down being the girlfriend. She eventually typecast herself as tough chick cause she wouldn't accept anything else. Jeanette Bernstein went in reverse. She got a lot of visibility as Vasquez in Aliens. But to avoid typecasting, she turned down parts in horror films, wearing a military uniform, playing a Hispanic, as a gun girl, as a muscle woman. Soon the offers stopped coming. She spent some years in Spielberg's unofficial repertory company. And now designs and sells large-sized bras. Military chick who dies. She and Sean Bean are basically walking spoilers. David Attenborough. I've seen them all. Like, come on man. Mix it up a little. Play a waiter or a spy or a gay prostitute. Steven Seagal. Playing Steven Seagal in movie called Steven Seagal. The best hammer of all time. Link. How have I never known about that until now? That thread is absolute gold. Holy shit. I scrolled down a long way and didn't see him answer a single question, although maybe he did. I wonder how long it took him to realize that was a very bad idea. 15 seconds. 30. Jason Statham. Edit. Except the movie Snatch, lol, that's my favorite movie of his, and yeah, I guess he played a little different role. So I'll give ya that one. I once heard a comedian say that all of his movies should just be numbered. Jason Statham 9. He fights a shark in this one. Wonder who he'll be playing in this one. Maybe the secret agent who wins in the end. Or the man with muscles who wins in the end. Jason Statham 9. He fights a shark in this one. Jason vs. Jaws. It would be one hell of a movie. He was brilliant in Spy. Playing his typecast character in a comedy was a genius idea. He was also genuinely good in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, and Snatch. He was so good in Spy parodying his usual character, the part where he listed out all the outrageous stunts he's pulled was comedic gold. If a comedy comes out and he's in it, I'll give it a shot out of goodwill of Spy. Not true for his early movies. He actually had to act for Lock, Stock, and Snatch. Katherine Heigl. An uptight, controlling, workaholic, but learns to be a little more easygoing by the end. Heigl, who somehow starred in almost every movie about an uptight, prudish workaholic lady whose every problem was solved by a dreamy guy's penis. Edit. Your opinions on Seth Rogen are inconsequential. The man is a dreamboat. I always knew Seth Rogen's hog would make all well. She crashed from A-list to D-list pretty hard after pissing off a lot of Hollywood. My dad complains that Mark Ruffalo always plays a guy going through it, whatever that means. Edit. Unrelated. By my father's father also had strange but strong opinions about celebrities. He said that Scarlett Johansson was grotesque, which I mean, Bob, is she really grotesque? I guess my paternal family just wants to drag the whole Avengers cast slowly but surely. 13 going on 30. Can't remember the rest. But I always picture Mark with crow's feet, squinted eyes and hand rubbing the back of his neck. It's like squints and rubs the back of his neck. Link was made for this. It's because he got that internal screaming face. I can't even remember a role where he doesn't play a guy with anger management problems, sex/porn addiction problems, identity problems, or other problems. Life is pain. Dude has haunted eyes. He does the tormented but staying strong thing well. The Rock. He's an ex-military/police that is now a butterfly collector. But then he has to save the world. I'd watch the fuck out of that movie. I can already hear the trailer. He tried to leave a life of violence behind him. Then they took the woman he loved. This summer. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in The Butterfly Game. PG-13. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Love the guy. But he seems to be in a lot of movies where he is just The Rock to me. Uses smoldering intensity. All he needs to do is raise his eyebrow and it's exactly what he did when he was a wrestler, lol. Kevin James. Any Kevin James film is instantly a Paul Blart Mall Cop spin-off in my mind now. Don't know his name, but he's a Spanish, Mexican actor who plays a gangster in almost all his movies. Pretty sure his name is usually Hector too. Bald head. White tank top. Goatee, I think. You guys know who I'm talking about. Noel Guglielmi is his name. The guy who had a monkey jump up his ass in Bruce Almighty. If so, I know who you're talking about. Yup. Same dude. Couldn't remember any movies he was in, but that one is pretty memorable, lol. Lol at his credits. Gang leader. Gangbanger #1. Inmate #1. Latino convict. Latino thug. Bar thug #2. Hood. Cholo #2. Ex-prisoner. Rooftop hood. Hector. 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 Lol. Search Google for Mexican actor in every movie. It actually works too. Godzilla. Now, sometimes he's doing jumping kicks on an evil monster. Sometimes he's the embodiment of nuclear destruction. He's got some range. Rebel Wilson. She was good in Jojo Rabbit. Because it was a minor role and had good writing and direction. And her whole shtick wasn't hair dare fat lol. I'm starting to really like Taika Waititi quite a bit. Ragnarok was one of the best Marvel movies. Jojo Rabbit was excellent. And I just saw Hunt for the Wilder People, and it was another great movie. Hector. Some say he's got so many spoon engines he uses them to eat his breakfast. Hugh Grant, Dithering. Bumbling Englishman. David Spade, annoying American man teenager. Hugh Grant plays a slightly different role in The Gentleman. Mark Wahlberg. Always the uneducated, but charming common man. Rob Schneider in every Adam Sandler movie. John Wayne. He may have played characters under different names in his movies. But if you purge all that, they all did exactly the same things in exactly the same ways. For the same motives. Arguably the closest he got to breaking type was Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. The Conqueror. And Brannigan obviously. But in every other movie he basically played John Wayne in different clothes, and an eye patch for two. Even in roles where he'd have done better to add some depth. He just played himself with different clothes. Anytime he tried to step outside the basic pattern, it was blatantly obvious that he was out of his element and terrifically uncomfortable. Classical example. Barbarian and the Geisha. 1958. These men have a sickness. Stay away from them. The very delivery of the dialogue was so forcefully stilted and uncomfortable that you'd have to work hard to find an actor who could deliver the lines worse. John Ratzenberger's character Cliff Clavin could have done it better. Edit. Note, if you haven't seen Quiet Man, there are spoilers below. Not sure why I should put spoiler alerts on a 68-year-old movie, but it is what it is. If you haven't seen Quiet Man but intend to read no further, it's a good flick by JW standards. Everybody keeps saying Quiet Man was a departure. Yes, sorta maybe ish. It's an excellent film. Done magnificently, and it stands, in my opinion, as some of his best work. All I know is, it's the same drawl, same misplaced swagger, and he still ends up in a knockdown dragout with Victor McLaglen that, while highly entertaining, was classical John Wayne beats up that sort of bad guy. As far as departure from his typical goes, there's a little added drama for the way his boxing career ended, and it is an excellent link. It's still a John Wayne / John Ford collab. Take JW out of the flat cap and put him in a Stetson. It could be set in Kansas City. If we want to look for major departures, gotta say Ward Bond killed it playing a role he hadn't played in every film we'd seen him in. QM is a cowboy picture set in Ireland. It's different than his typical, but not overwhelmingly so. Put Gary Cooper, Kirk Douglas, even Burt Lancaster in there, and it's a masterpiece. As made. It's John Wayne with psychological baggage. Great film. One of my favorites. But it's still a typical predictable John Wayne movie. As soon as the plotline revealed that there was tension between Scene and Link, I expected a gunfight. But the fist fight makes more sense. Until it doesn't. Already accidentally killed one guy with his fists, and his resolution for a relatively mild conflict is to have a fist fight. That's a plot hole I'm ashamed of John Ford not noticing. It wrecks whatever sympathy Scene earned for his distraught hesitation. It's a great link. Still a John Ford / John Wayne film. It was hilarious when John Wayne played Genghis Khan. It was pretty much John Wayne as his normal cowboy character playing a Mongolian. Michael Cera. Except in This Is the End. He's different in Molly's Game. He plays an asshole, and supposedly it's meant to be Tobey Maguire. Tommy Wiseau always seems to be doing a Tommy Wiseau impression. Haha. What a story, Mark. Mark Wahlberg. The Boston guy always. Noah Centineo.